This is the Average to Savage podcast with Paul Guarino. Everyone and anyone, athletes, celebs, and much more.
This episode is brought to you by Ballsy, the makers of Ball Wash. Check out their website at ballwash.com and use the promo code PGSports for 15% off. Keep the funk off your junk. Ball Wash. What's up, everybody? I'm back for another episode of Average to Savage. Got a special guest with me today, Kansas City Royals pitcher Tim Hill. Tim, how's it going?
Good. How are you, Paul?
Good. I'm glad I finally got you on the show. Been trying all season, and we finally done it after the season.
Finally.
For sure. And could you tell the listeners just like a brief summary about yourself?
Sure. I'm 28 years old. I was drafted in 2014 by the Kansas City Royals. I happened to be the oldest player in that draft at 24 years old. So, like coming up through college, at my senior year, I was talking to a bunch of scouts, but a lot of them kept saying, or like the word on the street, or like what I kept hearing from different various people was like, you're kind of too old, like you probably missed your window type of thing. They're usually looking to draft younger players. So anyways, like lo and behold, the Royals took a chance on me in 2014. They picked me up in the 32nd round, so I was a later pick. So that moving forward, I played my first half season, and then in 2015, I went to my first spring training. I was feeling a little bit off, just not feeling well, but I kind of attributed it to like my first time being in spring training. Wasn't really used to it. We're waking up early. There's long days, so I was just this is tough. I'm tired. It is what it is. Through like routine blood work, the Royals ended up finding out that my hemoglobin, which is my red blood cell count, was about half of what it should have been. So immediately they knew there was something wrong. So they started doing more tests because of like my family history. My dad had colon cancer when I was 17. He ended up passing away from it as well. So they gave me a colonoscopy, and sure enough, they found a tumor. So all of 2015, I was dealing with that. It was, I had surgery. They removed half my colon with the tumor, and then proceeded with 8 months of chemotherapy, all 2015. And then I only had about 2.5 months of rehab, like recovery or whatever you want to call it, to 2016. And then I played my first full season in 2016, and then my second full season was in 2017.
Gotcha. All right, so let's circle back. After high school, you ended up at a junior college, correct?
Correct.
So how'd that come about? Like, did you have like D1 offers coming out of high school?
I only played 1 year of high school baseball.
Oh, okay.
It's like dealing with the whole. I played my freshman year, and then like my sophomore, junior, senior year, I was dealing with my dad, and he was being sick, and it was just kind of a tough time for me. So I wasn't really playing ball at that time.
Gotcha.
It's been a long journey for me to the big leagues, to say the least. I would say, because when I was 19 years old, I wasn't even in college. I started school at 19. That's why I was so old as well. Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. So how did you become a submarine pitcher?
I've actually always thrown like that.
Oh, okay.
That's like the main question that everyone's asked me this year is like, hey, when did you start throwing down there? And it's like, I've always kind of thrown like that. I remember in Little League, I had this coach who was like, hey, he was talking to my dad. He was like, hey, listen, if he throws overhand, he could probably throw a lot harder. So my dad was like, all right, well, let's give it a shot. So they were messing with me, trying to get me to throw overhand. Well, I kept throwing sidearm, like just natural.
Yeah.
So they stood me next to like a towel type of thing, hung it on a clothesline, and they were like, all right, don't hit the towel. So I hit the towel every time. I was getting frustrated. My dad finally was just like, hey, like, listen, he just wants to throw like that, and we're just going to let him throw however he wants. So told him to leave me alone.
Yeah, for sure. So how did you get back into baseball and ended up at a JUCO?
Okay, so here's a crazy story. Actually, like when I was, I guess, 18 years old, I got into some trouble. I was just kind of dealing with my dad and everything, and I ended up making a bad decision, getting arrested, and basically I got arrested. I moved down to San Diego to be with my sister. It was just funny because that arrest ended up making me get into baseball again in a way, because my sister, when I moved down, she said, go to school or get a job. And I was like, okay, fine. So I got a job at Ross, and I go to get hired on the first day. And so I got hired. I go to like clock in on the first day, and I guess they had gotten my background check on that day, and they fired me before I even started.
Gotcha.
So I was like all bummed. I'm like, wow, I felt like a loser. Like, can't even get a job at Ross. Like, how brutal.
What is Ross? Like a convenience store?
So at the time, I had been playing like with one of my sister's coworkers in like an adult league baseball league.
Okay.
It's just like a bunch of old men like screwing around type of thing.
Yeah.
I played against this dude Terrence one game, and he played at Palomar, which was the JUCO that I ended up going to. After the game, he was talking to me. He's like, "Man, like that was really good." He was like, "Where do you play at?" And I was like, "Well, what do you mean I play here?" And he just started laughing, and he was like, "Have you played college ball at all?" And I was like, "No, I haven't." And he was like, "Please come with me on Sunday to Palomar, meet the coach. We'll talk, whatever." So I ended up going over there, meeting the coach. I threw for him, and he like immediately got me signed up for classes, and I started playing there.
Oh, that's awesome. So from there, what did you say? You were there for 1 year or 2 years?
I was actually there for 1 year.
Gotcha.
I ended up not doing so well in the classroom, but like I said, after my freshman year there, I got a bunch of Division I scholarship offers that I couldn't go to because my grades weren't good enough.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So
where were the offers to?
I had offers to University of San Diego, and NC State, Cal State Fullerton.
Gotcha.
A couple others. Those are like the bigger ones. There were some smaller Division I schools as well.
So, like, did you always know you were like really good?
I always knew I was good.
Or better than average?
Growing up, like I always like did well.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever, like, people would always tell me like, you're good enough to get drafted. You're good enough to get drafted, but I didn't know like if they were just blowing smoke or if they actually meant it. Gotcha.
So how do you end up at the NAIA school, Bacone College?
Okay, so I ended up not being eligible for my sophomore year.
Okay.
After I did really well at Palomar my freshman year, on the field, but in the classroom I did horrible.
Yeah.
Which put me in a really bad position. So I wasn't eligible my sophomore year. I ended up going to a school in LA Mission College, and I was trying to play there. I had gotten like a 3.8 GPA both semesters, like turned my grades around, like was really like trying in the classroom.
Yeah.
And yeah, like really figured some stuff out. And 2 weeks before season, they told me that I wasn't eligible. So it was kind of a heartbreaker, but like I built a really good relationship with that coach, and he was really happy with like how hard I had worked, and he like wanted to help me basically. So
yeah.
I had as soon as I found out I wasn't eligible, I went and got a job at this moving company. I worked there for about 3 months, and I think it was about a month and a half in. Coach Cascione called me. It was the coach from LA Mission. He called me up, and he was like, "Hey, man, do you want to keep playing?" And I was like, "Sure, but where?" He's like, "It might be somewhere weird, like Kansas, or he's like, it might be like Kansas, or like Oklahoma, or like Missouri, or somewhere in the middle of the United States, somewhere you've never been." But he's like, it'll be an opportunity nonetheless. So that phone call, I was like, "Yeah, let's see what you got." And lo and behold, he ended up coming up with Bacone College, and they ended up offering me a scholarship I couldn't really turn down. So I went and played. I mean, I hated that job that I was working at the time.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what, I might as well give it a chance, and I did.
So you went there, and you were a starter there, right?
Yes, I was a starter there.
And you went All-American, right?
Yes. My senior year, I did.
So then, what was happening? Were like scouts coming to your game and stuff?
Yeah. See, the funny thing is, I pitched really well my junior year, but there was no one to see it. Like, no scouts there, no nothing, which was pretty typical for Bacone College. Like, there's no scouts coming out on a regular game. And then I went and played in a collegiate summer league back east. It was the Coastal Plain League.
Okay.
Which was pretty competitive. There was like a good amount of scouts at all those games. And I think that's probably where I got like noticed was there. And then, because when I came back for my senior year, there was plenty of scouts at all the games.
Yeah, just for you?
Yeah. They would, yeah.
So what was that like? Was the pressure on for you, or you were just pitching like every other day?
Not really. I mean, like I told you before, like I talked to probably, at least 15 different scouts from 15 different teams. But like after I would talk to them, it was always like the same feeling. Like they would always ask me, like, "Oh, like how old are you?" And I'd tell them I was 24, and they were like, "Oh, like why are you so old?" Like,
yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I have to explain to them, like, I started college late, and yada, yada, yada. So, I didn't really, I was just like, it was like whatever, I was just doing my thing, and I just kind of thought, like, these guys aren't going to take a chance on me. But they did, so.
Yeah, so.
Which is funny, which is also funny, because I thought the Rockies would have drafted me, just from, like, they seemed more interested, but.
So, yeah, so like, when did, like, so senior year ends, and then what happens? Like, all these scouts you already knew about the scouts? Did you, like, sign with the agent? Like, how, were you just, like, going in there?
Yeah, at the end, that was probably the most suspenseful, like, time. It was, like, a couple of weeks of just, I was talking to different scouts, like, like, I would, like, exchange texts with different scouts, or, like, exchange different phone calls with different scouts.
Yeah.
But I was just awaiting the draft, which was, pretty nerve-wracking.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I wasn't drafted till the third day because I was the 32nd round. So I had to watch the first 2 days, and then on the third day I finally got picked, which was pretty special. It was cool. Even like, I don't know, it's weird. Yeah,
so, I mean, being drafted in the 32nd round, did you think you were getting drafted earlier?
Oh, no, not at all. I knew I would be, like, later round, if at all, just because
gotcha.
Most of them didn't want to take a chance on someone my age.
Gotcha. Were you the first one to get drafted out of Beacon College?
I want to say yes, but I can't be certain on that.
Yeah, I was actually trying to look up the stat how many players from the NAIA made the major leagues, but I couldn't find it because I think it's pretty rare.
It can't be very high. I know that the NAIA gets snuffed in the draft a little bit just because I know there's a lot of good players. Yeah. But I think they get discounted because they're playing at that level. Yeah. It's not as good as the Division I. So. Yeah, for sure.
Back to, you got drafted by the Royals. Mm-hmm. And so what were your thoughts like when you got drafted by them?
Honestly, when I first got drafted, you're just kind of like really excited. You don't really know what to think. Then they send you to Arizona, and you're used to being like the best on your team. Like, I've always been the best on my team, whatever. You get to Arizona, it's like everybody's really good. Everybody throws hard. Like, everybody's there for a reason. So it's just kind of eye-opening. You see how much talent there actually is out there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just kind of cool. In the beginning, it can be a little discouraging. Yeah. When you realize, like, okay, like, maybe I'm not so special. Like, there's a bunch of dudes out here that can do the same, like, the same thing or close to it. Yeah. So I guess in the beginning, like, it's a little discouraging, but then you just realize, like, as you go along, you just have to separate yourself and try to find a way to stand out.
Yeah, for sure. And your first season, you did really well. You had a 1.64 ERA. And then, like you were telling me before, in the fall of 2015, you were feeling weird. You got diagnosed with the colon cancer. I read that you lost 70 pounds.
Correct.
And then how did you come back from all that?
Well, it's kind of crazy. Like, I think it was around November of 15 was when I finished my last treatment. Yeah. And it took me about a month, maybe 6 weeks before, like, the chemo drugs all got out of my system. Because I wasn't eating well. I wasn't, like, sleeping well still. I still felt really bad. And then it was just weird. Like, sometime around January of 16, just, like, a switch went off, and all of a sudden I could eat. All of a sudden I could sleep. And I think that really, like, it really helped me out. I mean, I was eating, like, 4 to 6 meals a day. And like, my body just responded to it really well. I ended up gaining like 70 pounds back in 2.5 months. By the time spring training was over, I was back at my normal weight.
That's wild. Like, what did that feel like? Your body, like, that's crazy.
Honestly, like, the coming up, like the gaining the weight back was so easy. It seemed like because I felt good. I was lifting. Like, that was easy because I felt good. The hard part was losing it. Like the initial losing it was the hard part, but gaining it back was super easy. For whatever reason, you would think that it would be hard to gain all that weight back. But it was just a matter of my body finally it was finally functioning the way it was supposed to be functioning. For
sure. And then you, so your first year back, you spent the most of the season in Double A. And then technically, you basically only spent 3 seasons in the minors, and you made it to the majors this season, which is pretty fast. Even though I know people are saying you're a 28-year-old rookie, but you only really spent 3 seasons.
Right. Yeah. No. I am lucky. I did get through the minor leagues pretty quickly.
Yeah. Because technically, if you were a 21 or 22-year-old, so you'd actually be 25 or 26 right now if you were on the whatever quote unquote regular track.
Which is the average. I think the average person breaks into the league around 26.
Yeah, for sure. So now it's 2018, present day, and you're in spring training. You pitch in 7 games, 7 innings, 2 runs earned, and so what was all that like? And was there a point where you were you knew you were gonna make the team or no?
No, honestly, that whole year was so or that whole spring was so stressful for me. I mean, in the beginning, it was just okay, this is awesome. This is my first big league camp, so I was just excited to be with the big league team and trying to prove myself. And when I started pitching well, I pitched well all spring. I still knew a lot of times you can't take there's no guarantees in baseball, so you don't even try to I was just you know what, I put myself in a good position, and that's all you can really hope for.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, regardless, my situation was going to improve from the year before. Because at the end of 2017, they put me on the 40-man roster.
Okay.
So regardless of whether I went to AAA or the big leagues, I was still going to be on the 40-man roster, which, I was just trying to be positive and just trying to see, all right, no matter what, my situation has improved this year. So,
yeah, for sure.
With that, you just keep your head down and work hard, and usually good things will happen when you do that.
Yeah, so how did you find out you made the 25-man roster?
So, yeah, that was pretty incredible. It was my last outing of spring. It was wrapping up. We probably had 3 days left of camp, and everybody's kind of antsy. They don't know, they haven't really released the rosters yet, but, people, at this point, you got a pretty good idea. So at this point, I know it's it's either me or somebody else, So I know I'm close. I finished my last outing, and I went 1, 2, 3. It was, great outing. Came off, and Ned was at the bottom of the stairs. He shakes my hand. He's hey, great job. I need to see you in my office, before you leave. I'm all right, cool. So, usually that's the protocol for, all right, he's going to option me down to AAA. It was a good run. That was fun. Whatever,
Yeah.
So I go into the office, but he said it's so serious too. So I was there's no way it's anything but that.
Yeah.
So I go up, and I'm I think my mom was there. I was hey Mom, I think I'm about to get optioned down, and she was you don't know that. I'm well, we'll see. I'll give you a call after. She's okay. So I went, talked to Ned. I come in. He's the door was open when I walked in.
Mm-hmm.
And he's Timmy, take a seat. And I took a seat. And he's how do you think you pitched this spring? And I was I think I pitched pretty good. And he was just pretty good? And I was I've done better. And he was just pretty good, huh? And he goes, all right, well, if it was just pretty good, he goes, we'll just go ahead and send you to AAA. And I kind of I laughed, but I was that's not how you send someone down. That ain't it. Come on, that can't be it.
Yeah.
So he starts explaining to me about, all right, when we go to Omaha, we're going to go to Omaha, and then we're going to play the AAA team, and blah, blah, blah. And he kept saying, we, as if I was, a part of that. So I was okay. And then he turns, and there was Moose. Mike Moustakas is standing on the other side of the door, and he goes, hey, Moose, come here. I need to ask you something. And he looks at him. He's well, you think this kid's a big leaguer or whatever? And I was just Moose is no, I don't think he's a big leaguer. I know he's a big leaguer. So I was, which I thought was pretty cool. I was I was smiling, whatever. And he was congrats, kid, you made the squad.
Yeah, it's dope.
So,
wasn't that? I think that was on Twitter or something, or an article about it, maybe. Maybe not a video.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. I don't have Twitter, so I don't know.
You gotta get on Twitter.
I got to.
What was the first game like? You getting into your first major league game?
That was undescribable. That was crazy. So I'm in the bullpen. It's like freezing. It's like 29, 30 degrees out.
Yeah.
I'm jumping up and down the whole game, trying to keep warm. And at this point, my calves are like probably like about to explode.
Yeah.
The phone rings, and sure enough, it's for me. I get up there, and I'm like, I can't even feel my face. It's so cold, and I'm just like, whatever. I go out there, and it's just kind of a blur. Warming up was a blur. Running out was kind of a blur. I remember getting the first strike over the plate, and I'm like, okay, we're good. And then he called fastball in, and I get like all pumped up, like I'm just gonna throw this ball as hard as I can. And I end up hitting my first. That next pitch, I hit the batter, so I ended up hitting my first batter in the face.
Yeah.
Which at that point, I thought I was gonna have a heart attack. I was like, oh my goodness, my heart's beating out of my chest. I'm like, this isn't the way you want to start it.
Yeah, for sure.
So then I got the next guy out quickly, and then they pulled me. So then my day was over. I got one out.
There you go.
Before I even knew it was over, I was like sitting in the dugout, and I was like, wow, that was crazy.
Did you have any?
Everybody's like,
there you go.
And like everybody just comes up and good job, bro. Blah, blah, blah. It was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Did you get to keep the ball?
Kind of, it's always crazy. There's always like the atmosphere is always like very like intoxicating, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But nothing compares to the first time you go out there and do it. I mean, that's the most adrenaline you'll probably ever feel.
For sure, for sure. Did you get to keep the ball?
I did get to keep the ball. I got to keep a couple of the balls. I got to keep my first ball, my first pitch, and then like the second pitch, which I hit the guy with. I got to keep that one too.
Oh man! So what about? Did you have any other moments?
Nice little case.
What was that?
I said they're all in a nice little case.
Oh, nice. So what? Did you have any other moments where you're like, oh my god, I'm facing whoever X?
Oh yeah, I faced Mike Trout with the bases loaded.
Yeah.
He ended up hitting the ground ball that I was supposed to field, and I missed it, which resulted in fielding practice for me like every other day for the rest of the year.
There you go.
But I got pretty good at it. Towards the end of the year, I started making some pretty nice catches, so I guess it all worked out.
Yeah, there you go. For sure. You're going for the Golden Glove next year.
Yeah, that's right.
So
just need more attempts.
Yeah, for sure. So overall, what was your experience, your rookie year with the Kansas City Royals?
I would say it was awesome. It was amazing. It was a great learning experience. I feel like even personally, but also as a team, like we didn't have the greatest year, but I would say like towards the end, like we really started to work together, and a lot of us were getting a lot better, and we made some huge steps towards becoming a good team. And like I think we will be a good team next year and moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. And what was it like throwing to your all-star catcher, Salvador Perez?
Awesome. I mean, nobody runs on you, that's for sure. He's just, obviously someone like that, being able to find someone like that has that kind of knowledge. He's taken his team to the World Series and won. Yeah. He's taken his team to the World Series and lost. So he's got quite a bit of experience that is very beneficial for especially a rookie pitcher.
Yeah, for sure.
That you could learn from, and then just the fact that no one ever runs on you is beautiful.
Yeah.
He's got the best arm in the league.
Yeah, definitely. So how about this one? Can you give us a little insight on what like the 162 game traveling schedule is like?
A lot of quick turnarounds. A lot of like the whole day game or night game combination, especially when it's night game in one city, day game in the next, or whatever. That could be really tough. Or even if it's just a night game, but if the travel's far and you have like a time change, it can get really tough coming from West Coast to East Coast. Just like things like that can be a little bit challenging, but I would say it's not any worse than minor league travel.
Yeah,
I would say it's better than minor league travel. There might be, you go to more cities, that's the only difference. So the travel is better, but the travel is also more.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're not on like the buses like in the minors, right?
Right. You're not on a 12-hour, 13-hour bus ride, which that's no fun. Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so you ready for some fun questions?
Sure. What do you got?
So how'd you end up wearing 54? Did they just give it to you, or you get to pick?
They gave me 51 in the beginning of spring.
Okay.
And I was super pumped about it. I was fired up because it was Randy Johnson's old number.
Okay.
And what lefty doesn't like Randy Johnson?
Yeah.
So I was pretty excited to have 51. Well, Blaine Boyer, he was a vet. He's a veteran on the team at the beginning of the year. That was like his number, so he he was respectful about it. He was like, "Hey man, you mind if I take that number?" And I was certainly not in any position to tell him no. So I got 54 instead.
Gotcha. They just gave it to you.
Yeah, that was but I'll probably ride with it now because now I've grown to it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Now it's like sentimental because they just gave it to you. It's just like one of those things.
Exactly.
What about what's one of the favorite places that you traveled this season or cities?
My favorite places, I would say I can't say one favorite place, but I would say my 3 favorite cities or 4 favorite cities would probably be Toronto, New York, Chicago, and San Francisco.
Dope.
Ooh, I might have to throw Seattle in there too because Seattle is pretty nice.
Okay, all right. What about any favorite ballparks?
Favorite ballparks? By far, it would have to be Fenway.
Yeah.
Just simply for the atmosphere. I think we played like a 3-game weekday series there, and they sold it out every single night, which is incredible.
Yeah. And what was your first big purchase when you made the major leagues?
What was my first big purchase?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've made one yet. I guess I've updated my wardrobe, but
your wardrobe?
I haven't really made any big purchases. I've passed on the car. I still got my car from last year. No, haven't done anything.
All right. Any plans to do anything like a house or something? A new car?
I would like to get a house eventually. But
Yeah.
I don't want to rush into it. I kind of want to figure out what area I want to live in first before I do anything crazy like that.
Yeah, for sure. What about what's on your music playlist right now?
I could go a little country. I'll go a little country, but I could go rap too.
All right.
I like the more old school hip hop.
Yeah.
For being honest. I can mess with the new school rap though. My nephew's been opening my eyes a little bit. He throws on some Travis Scott every once in a while, and I'm like, all right, I'll listen to it. Come on.
There you go. What about your top 5 favorite relievers or pitchers of all time?
Let me think about that. Mariano Rivera for sure.
Yeah.
Trevor Hoffman for sure. Randy Johnson. I know he's not a reliever, but I gotta throw him in there just because he's the man.
Any submarine guys?
Not really. I've never grown up and watched a sub guy and been like, I want to throw like him or whatever. Mm-hmm. Just because generally they're different kinds of pitchers. Yeah. I feel like most sub guys they tend to throw a lot of breaking balls where I live off my fastball more. Yeah. So I don't know. No, I've never been a huge fan of the sub pitchers.
That's funny.
I guess I'd have to throw a couple more starters in there, just Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah.
I grew up watching him, so he's always been one of my favorites to watch.
Yeah, definitely one of the best.
Like Zach Greinke.
Yeah, former Royal.
Yeah.
And what are your goals for 2019 season?
2019 season, win the World Series.
Hey, there you go, team player.
Yep.
And where can people find you on social media? I know you're not big on social media, but you're getting there.
No, I'm not too big on social media, but I have Instagram. I think my handle is TimH818.
Yeah,
maybe.
There you go. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show, and it was great to finally talk to you. And you were the first MLB player on the show.
Absolutely, it was a pleasure, Paul. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. This episode was brought to you by Ballsy, the makers of Ball Wash. Check out their site for high-quality, below-the-belt products at ballwash.com. Don't forget to use the promo code PGSports for 15% off.